It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again. Candy canes and silver rings that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store. But the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben.
Hi, everyone.
Dolls that'll talk and we'll go for a walk as the hope of Janice and Jen. Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look like Christmas. Everywhere.
See if anyone's on Facebook now. Hello, YouTubers. All right.
One in the park as well.
I am a big fan of Michael Bublé and his Christmas songs. Hello, everyone. I thought I'd be a bit Christmassy on my live video as it's the second here in Australia, so Christmas is upon us, which is very surreal but very exciting. I'm sure everyone can agree this year's been a very strange one, that's for sure. And we're finally getting out of COVID now in Australia. Us here at headquarters Melbourne in Ungex, we've been in lockdown for quite some time, so it's nice to get back to some new normality, as I'm sure the rest of everyone feels the same. So I'm sure this Christmas will be a special one, I personally feel. Everyone's been through a lot this year, so I don't think we can say it's been normal at all, but I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe and doing, keeping each other motivated as best as you can, especially when it comes to Demodex mites. If you're new to my videos, my name's Emma Jones. I'm a care consultant at Ungex. I have been with the company now since pretty much this February, the end of February. So I've been very blessed to have a job that helps people, and especially a very interesting one at that is treating people that have Demodex mite infestations. So if you haven't seen my video before, welcome. I do suggest, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got so much content on there. You'll see my weekly live videos as well. So I'm just doing one for our UK audience. It is a bit late here this evening. So hello to all my people on our Facebook support group there, and YouTubers. If you haven't joined, please do. We've got a Demodex support group on Facebook, and it gets bigger every day, which is amazing, but also continuously overwhelming, because we've created this platform for you guys, to give you guys a voice, because we know just how much people don't believe you that you have skin mites. You have bugs on your skin. It is very real. A lot of people get told that it's all in your head. You don't have bugs on your skin, but it is extremely real. So Demodex mites, if you haven't seen my videos before, I touch on what Demodex mites are and the problems that they cause. Basically, Demodex mites is a very more complex than people realize, especially in the medical community. I honestly believe that Demodex mites are so complex, and especially dermatologists and specialists, they do their job as best as they can, but I think it is very far out of their field for them, and they just see you as too hard to deal with. So they unfortunately fob you off or try and get you out the door as quick as possible, or simply see you as symptomatic. So dermatologists especially, if you've been suffering with rosacea or any other skin problems, they just see you as symptoms. So as soon as you say, 90% of the time when I talk to people as a care consultant, you go to your dermatologist and go, yeah, I told him that I had mites. I think I've got mites crawling on my skin. And a lot of the time the dermatologists go, yeah, okay, that's all in your head. They just see you as symptoms. So they do the best they can just to treat the symptoms, not realizing that mites are playing a very big and important role in a lot of these problems. So Demodex mites, I do tend to repeat myself. I feel like I'm quite a mite whisperer now. So you can see behind me here, this is them, my lovely assistant Fiona. She's been suffering with Demodex mites hair loss. So this is what they look like. They're microscopic, so they're very extremely hardly visible to see with our naked eye, because they are microscopic parasite. So this is what they look like under the microscope. Something not from this earth, that's for sure. Hi, Tina. So they're a microscopic parasite, and basically every human on earth, every adult, we even treat littlies up until the elderly people as well. We are just known for having a microscopic parasite, just as our biology, our makeup as a human being. Unfortunately, when they're in low populations, they're not so much of an issue. So, I've got Demodex at the moment, but they're not causing me problems. They're in very small amounts. I myself have not had a microscopic test done. I'd probably be quite surprised when I do see some stuff under my skin, that's for sure. But they become a problem when they're in a high population density area. And that's when they can cause a lot of issues. So if you've had a lot of ongoing skin problems, especially such as rosacea, blepharitis, acne, dermatitis, hair loss, the works, and especially if you've been feeling a lot of itching, a lot of redness on your skin, you feel like, you're going insane from, you can actually feel something on your skin. It generally does mean that you aren't mad and you potentially do have some of these high populations causing these problems, because what they do, it's like a horror show. I'm sure you guys can agree with me, is that especially that big guy up the top there, I always show him and I just freak out. They primarily feed off our sebum and our oil. So the stuff that helps to, our skin to grow and deepen those hair follicles and skin cells. So stuff, that sebum that helps our skin, give it its natural quality of life. That's the sebum is their main source of food. I always start scratching every single time. It's probably because I'm tapping into the mite sensors. So they eat primarily off these oils, hormones, and fluids that are present around the human hair follicles. So that is their number one source of food. So from our little quiz, another way to really find out, so if you do have some of these issues, a lot of the time I speak to people and, you can really trace back from where it started as well. So if you look back, if you've got a severe infestation from head to toe, you're losing your hair, you've got inflamed skin, you've got rosacea, it is most likely this has been building up for a long time. So people can really trace it back, go, okay, hang on, I've had these issues for a long time. I've been trying to treat it. I've been using topical ointments. I've been using so much stuff on my skin, and I still keep getting these problems. And that is realistically a big indication that there's most likely something else going on. i.e. Demodex, unfortunately. So when it comes to Demodex, a lot of people, without realizing it, as I've said numerous times, you've probably actually fed them. You've probably given them a chance to repopulate, because what they do, they come out at night. So if your symptoms are more prominent and noticeable at night, you know, you're going to bed and you feel more itching on your scalp and, you know, more movement and more sensations, it is another sure indication that you do have those higher populations, because they are the most active at night, like bloody vampires. They come to the surface, so they come out of that hair follicle at night. Throughout the day, they're not as active, so they hate the UV exposure. That's why I said, you know, they're literally like vampires. So throughout the day, they're just more dormant. They hang out under those hair follicles because they can't stand the UV. And then at night is when they do all that damage. They eat off the, you know, our oils, they mate and repopulate, and then they lay those eggs back deep into the hair follicles. So it makes sense as to why, you know, you may have most likely had these ongoing problems, because essentially they're alive, they're living, and they're laying eggs. And what happens to eggs or anything, you know, it's that life cycle. So, you know, what we do find at Ungex, and myself and our team, is the same story, that, you know, a lot of people use these topical treatments. They use so much bad stuff on the skin, not to say it may help you for a short period of time, but that's all it really does, unfortunately. And the problems come back. And if not, they come back more vicious than ever. And it's simply because of that life cycle. So there is a lot of information when it comes to Demodex mites. If you haven't checked out our website, please do. There's heaps on there about all the different types of problems they cause. We've got a blog as well and some testimonials. So anything, I feel like we're the first what do you call it, first main stop for Demodex mites. So we have so much information all about our company. Yes, if you jump on and do our quiz is a great way of finding out if you do have those populations. And look, from our quiz, a lot of people do ask, you know, what does that give me, a number? But essentially from our quiz, and I do go over it, I do a little live quiz. So we ask you these questions that's really important as to why potentially you have these problems. Because when it comes to Demodex, the reason why they get higher in numbers and populations is simply because of your immune system. So if you do have a very compromised immune system, you know, it makes sense to why when our immune system is down and vulnerable, we get sick, we're more vulnerable to diseases, we're run down, and just unfortunately make you a magnet for a lot of things. So we asked all this stuff from the quiz, what you've been doing to your skin, what you've been putting on your skin is number one, because as I said, they feed off those oils. So a lot of people I know in the group, you know, they're using so many oils on their skin, which look is great, but unfortunately when it comes to Demodex, they feed off oil, number one. So there's just a lot of, like, you know, moisturizers, creams, stuff like this, makeup, sunscreen. And unfortunately, there's so many products that you didn't realize you were probably feeding them, because they just eat everything. They look like they eat everything too, because they do, unfortunately. And, you know, they damage those hair cells, they damage those skin cells. So I've even spoken to people that have pigmentation of the skin, track marks, they do burrow, they do bite. They cause so many problems. So I'm just going to run through a couple more frequently asked questions as well. So Demodex are contagious, so there is a high chance you may have potentially increased those initial low numbers. unfortunately, because they do transfer from skin to skin contact through the oils in our skin. So if you have unfortunately been exposed to someone who does have a severe infestation and they've hugged and kissed, etc., you may have been like a perfect storm for them. You know, I say to everyone, unfortunately, it may have been all the right elements for you to be a host for more populations as well. And they do live off the skin. So they live off the skin for 52 hours. They they're easier to target off the skin. It's just when they're on the skin that's the problem, because they make a home in your skin. Whereas off the skin, they're most likely, if you're sitting somewhere for a long period of time or you're regularly there, your immediate environment. So especially your bedding, especially your pillows. You know, if you've had a friend, I was talking to someone recently, her daughter had severe cirrhosis of the skin, and she unfortunately became infested with Demodex, and because she had already that quite compromised skin as well, she just became a magnet. So, you know, unfortunately, Demodex, they aren't ageist, they aren't biased, and when they, unfortunately, you're a host for them, especially if you're producing more sebum. So I know with hair loss treatments, I was talking to a guy recently that was losing his hair. He was quite a young guy, and he couldn't understand why it was continuing. You know, he used a lot of hair growth treatments, of course, and one of them was an antibiotic or a chemical treatment system that actually produced more sebum. So unfortunately, you know, that is just, it speaks for itself. So a lot of those things can lead to why this happens. But that's a big part of our job, because we're here to educate you about them, because we've been doing this since 2011. My boss who created the products, he was suffering himself. Genius. He went to a specialist just like you guys out there. And he's like, why am I losing my hair? I don't understand it. There's got to be something else going on. And I think when it comes to your skin and your body and who you are, you know your skin the most, and don't let anyone, you know, tell you that you're mad, because you're right. You know, it is real. It is very real. So he was suffering hair loss, and the same thing, he went and was like, I think there's something else going on in my scalp. And sure enough, he got a skin sample done. We do microscopic testing at our offices in Melbourne, in Ungex in Australia. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people overseas, so you know, it might take a few days to come and get one with us, and we still have some restrictions in place. I know in the US it is quite hard over there. There just seems more of that lack of awareness when it comes to skin mites. Not just in the US, we treat globally as well. So, you know, Germany, Asia, everywhere. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And, you know, my heart goes out to you guys suffering with these skin issues. But look, please take the test. Please take our quiz. And generally from the quiz, as I said, you know, it gives you a result at the end of that questionnaire. We ask what your lifestyle is, what your environment's like, because environment can play a very big role. But also in saying that, you know, the environment is one thing, but your skin is the issue. Whereas, you know, of course, we recommend keeping a hygienic environment. So if you are in a more dirtier place, you know, the young fellow I was talking to, he was a plumber, so he was in a more dirty environment, and he was always getting concrete in his hair and stuff like that. So much can play a role, unfortunately, when it comes to Demodex. If anyone has any questions, because I do talk on a lot, please feel free, especially on our live chat feature on our website. I try to get back to people live when I'm working, but if we can't catch you, we always get back to you. So please feel free to ask us any questions. There's no silly questions when it comes to Demodex. A lot of people, dealing with Demodex. Most importantly, also from that quiz we asked, how often are you washing your skin as well? So that plays a really big role too, because if you are washing your head, your skin, I get it. When you've got Demodex, you just want them off your skin, right? But the more you actually clean and clean and clean, if you're washing your face and your hair every 2 times a day, you wash your hair like 5 times a week, unfortunately, if you wash your skin and the head too much, you actually start to strip the skin's natural barriers. So Demodex actually really like clean skin, because when you start to strip all that away, you're just making yourself just more vulnerable for them. Because once those barriers, our skin's damaged, they'll just go in harder, unfortunately, and just see you as a massive feast. So, there's a lot of reasons why potentially this could have got out of control for you. Not to say a lot of people I talked to from the quiz, you may just be on the lower spectrum. Like you may have just noticed some, one lady I spoke to, she's like, yeah, I just feel like there's something going on in my hair, or I can feel something at night, but my skin's okay. So there's, it doesn't mean necessarily you've got really bad skin. It's just that they're present. And in those lower populations, it just means your treatment time is shorter, and it's really good to get on top of the populations before potentially it can get worse. So there's a lot of, you've got to be quite realistic when it comes to treating Demodex as well. So a lot of people I know from our group there, you guys are awesome, always sharing your stories, what you use, etc. Topical ointments, they're great, as I said at the start. It's just like a quick fix, and quick fixes generally don't work for the long term. So, it's like if you want to get fit, you want to get healthy, you've got to be persistent at it every day to work towards a goal. We're not here on, I wish I could say we can magically cure you, but we're very realistic at Ungex, and we care. That's a big part of our whole, our ethos, we really care because we know the damage that it's caused so many people, but also we've helped so many people, and it's not easy at all living with Demodex. We know how isolating this can be. We're here if you just want to talk to us, someone to talk to. We get it. A lot of people I talk to, they're just like, thank you so much for calling. You get it. You guys understand. So I feel like we are quite a last stop for a lot of people. And look, I know when it comes to Demodex, people have spent so much money on countless treatments that haven't worked, simply because of what I've said of the life cycle of them. So topical ointments, they just give your skin a big blast of chemicals that can kill some of the surface, which is great. And, some people are like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling really good. I'm doing this in conjunction with my at-home remedies. But a lot of the time, those at-home remedies consist of sulfur soaps. Natural over chemical, of course, I strongly advise, but just sulfur soaps, tea tree oil, any chemicals on the skin, consistent use really screw your skin up, unfortunately. So you're just on this, it's like you move forward on the wheel and then you go back, and you're constantly trying to get ahead of the game, and it continuously seems endless. Because just of what a lot of people use is only, just help for that short period of time, because simply, again, You may have used something in your own treatment that have fed them. Olive oil, I know a lot of people do use their own oils. It's just you've got to be very cautious when it comes to Demodex, and that's what we're here for, to tell you how to get the best results with our treatment system. And our treatment system is a long-term treatment system because we know how hard it is to get on top of the populations, and we work through the life cycles. And to do that, our products are to be used every single night, as I said, because that's when they're active. Our products are a skincare regime, so easy to use, all natural ingredients. I've used them myself. I've used them on my new cat. They cover you not just for Demodex, but there's a lot of environmental stuff that people generally have. If you have Demodex, there could be so many other things going on with your skin, unfortunately. So springtails, dust mites, bird mites, it's huge, but I always go on a big roll here. So I'll just read a few more FAQs. So Demodex and head lice and scabies, mites are parasites that live inside the hair follicles and feed off the oils they produce. Lice are larger and can be seen by the eye. So they live on top of the human scalp and feed excessively on the blood. So a lot of people I know pull stuff off their skin, or you've got, you can see things, crazy things coming off your skin. I totally get it. I've seen a lot of pictures. And thank you so much for sharing. And look, a lot of what you can see from the eye, if you're seeing eggs, that's probably lice, because Demodex eggs are deep in those hair follicles so that we can't see them. Anything else that comes off the skin is generally bacteria or dead skin left over by the mites as well. So a lot of the time it is a high probability that you have a heap of gross bacteria floating around on your skin, causing those inflamed cells, especially with rosacea. So there's a lot going on. As I said, mites are very common in humans of all ages. Those affected usually have telltale symptoms. As I said, aging skin, enlarged pores, they can also cause that. Facial redness, discoloration, acne, blepharitis is an inflammation of the eye follicles. So generally what we find with large infestations, you've probably got a whole list of things going on, because they do move and migrate. So they love heat. So they tend to migrate more towards the head, because we do hold a lot of heat in our head. It's not to say they could they just go everywhere, unfortunately. So it's a very common misbelief that, blasting your clothes or your skin with heat. I had someone blowtorching their skin, and look, you guys are going to give it to you for tolerating so much stuff used on your skin, but that's it. It's your skin. Your skin can't tolerate a lot of this stuff. So heat, a lot of people I've spoken to recently, they're doing hot wash cycles. A lady in Australia was getting up in the morning, boiling all of the stuff, for over an hour, and extreme temperatures. And look, the thing is, any extreme heat will kill things. It's not going to kill them all, because they're microscopic. So, there can be up to 600 living in one hair follicle, just to give you, if not more. So, that's a big thing. You have to remember they're microscopic, and there's probably thousands. And if this has been going on for years, you've probably got millions. So, and they've kept breeding and feeding and breeding and feeding and, dying. And then it's just a horrible show that no one wants to be a part of. So, where's I going with that? Sorry. So, yes, they are absolutely horrible. One oil they don't feed off is coconut oil. It is one of the few oils the mites don't consume. which is great because if you've got really dry skin, we strongly advise getting, I've got some right here, coconut oil. They're so inexpensive. I think that was like $4 or something. Actually, that was a fancier one. But is the one thing the mites don't like. I don't know why. I feel like personally when it solidifies it, they can't eat through it. But replace that as your moisturizer, nothing else. I know a lot of people buckthorn oil. I heard that recently, but that's still potentially feeding them. So coconut oil, get that. And you'll smell like a Tahitian princess or prince. So this is just a few on our website. Is there a way that a child can have a mite infestation if they have a weakened immune? Yes. Children usually do not get Demodex mite infestations. There have been cases reported of children with mites and infections caused by mites. I'm definitely treating a family, so many families at the moment. As I said, if you're living all together, there is a high probability that you're all infested, unfortunately. I've got a lovely family overseas at the moment, and the littlies do have infestations, not as severe as the adults, but it's still very prevalent. But we make sure we go in with, because children have more sensitive skin as well. They, in recorded cases of children's mites, they also may have immune deficiencies as well, again with adults. So, you know, no two people are the same when it comes to your skin. Even though you may read things like, oh, you know, I read on your site people experiencing this, this, and this. I don't have any of that, but it doesn't mean you may not have Demodex. Your skin's completely different. So we do have a small amount of tea tree oil in our products, as I said, because it's just known for their excellent killing properties. There's a very minuscule amount because we, over time, tea tree just really fries the skin, same as sulfur soaps, any chemicals on the skin. We're all about making your skin a hostile environment, but just being really gentle. I think that's the number one issue when it comes to, you know, I can see you guys on the group and stuff like that. Man, you use so much stuff on your skin. But I get it because you want to get rid of Demodex. But unfortunately, it's a bit of a catch-22. You've just got to be really cautious. And that's why it's really, there's not a lot of effective long-term treatments, but Ungex. So our products contain a tiny percentage. We don't have harmful chemicals. As I said, all our products are natural based. No side effects reported. If you do have allergies, I know a lot of people with allergies and very sensitive skin, we take that into consideration. For one, people with allergies, you know what you can't have or what anaphylactic reactions happen. So we make sure we have customized care plans for people with allergies to make sure, because that cleanser just has some properties in it, very minuscule, that people are wary about. Shivers. Which is no parabens, no nasties, cruelty-free, only cruel to the Demodex. So the ingredients in our cleanser does have some sodium benzoate, just some very minuscule properties. But anyway, that's just for people with allergies. So we make sure we, you know, structure it to make sure, because we don't want your skin to be traumatized. But anyway, that's what we give in our care consultancy and the care plan. So so I've still got some people watching there. Thank you so much. I think that's my friend Cornelia. I'm sorry, Cornelia. I don't I hope you got the products. I don't have Google Translate handy at the moment, so I will have to message you. Cornelia is one of our new customers in Romania. So we treat a lot of people everywhere. So look, guys, our treatment time is 3 to 4 months. If you have a severe infestation, that's our recommended time. So that's from the research and development team. The research has gone into the products, all our scientists that have studied this and created the products. So that is a recommended time. And look, unfortunately, we're not going to give you an exact date because that's not realistic. And when it comes to Demodex, there's so much to factor in. That is a big part of what you buy, because we know there's a cost in our products. But I truly believe, you know, anything worth doing for the long term and getting you to a stage. Essentially, how Ungex works is we get you to a point where your skin can feel relief again, and we work through killing off those life cycles. And the only way to effectively do that is at night with our sprays. If you just, I say to everyone, if you just wanted to start small, if you just got a small infestation. So this is all my products. I've shown you them before. It's a 4 treatment protocol system. So it's a protocol, which means you've got to use every single thing together to get the best results. Otherwise, if you just, like a lot of people in the group, I see you go out and buy like a shampoo or something. You're not, you know, unfortunately, when it comes to Demodex, a lot of people just cleanse the hell out of their skin, and it's just not getting you anywhere, except dry skin and more Demodex, unfortunately. So, you know, our treatment system is a system because we've seen and we know, and I've got about 30 customers. They're all about they're all at different stages, but they work really hard at it. It's not easy. I know it's not, guys, you know, we know it's not easy living with Demodex. We just work towards getting those populations down to a manageable number, the end goal being 0. I've certainly seen people, you know, pretty much Demodex-free. But then on the other end of the spectrum, unless you're living in a bubble wrapped in plastic, you will probably always have Demodex. But we just work to getting you a point where you can feel relief again, and we've killed off, you know, massive populations. And that's a part of treatment because we work in those cycles. So die-off happens. That will happen in stages like a roller coaster because we work through those life cycles, much like they're like synchronized swimmers. So, you know, that's a big part of treatment. Die-off reaction, your symptoms become enhanced. It may get worse before it gets better, unfortunately. But yeah, I tend to go over the same stuff. But, you know, this is, you get a customized treatment package, and I really believe you don't get that with creams or topical ointments, or it's just like, you know, we're here because we know the products work, and they don't work if people don't trust them. You have to keep persevering. You can't expect immediate results when it comes to Demodex because that's just poo nanny. I just made up a word. Because we know how hard it is. We know how horrible it is. And we don't have a magic wand, but we can give you the tools to get you to a place where it's relief, you know, so you don't, your skin's working for you, not against you. But there's a lot to factor in. Anyway, if anyone has any questions for me, please feel free on our group there. You can private message me. My name's Emma Jones with a Z. Please jump on there. You can also email me care.ungexus, UNGXUS.com. Please feel free to email me any questions you have. Please do our quiz. Takes like 10 minutes. We'll generally give you a call. You can always have a chat to me, you know, just so you're not alone, guys, so we know how horrible it is. Coming up to Christmas, if you've unfortunately, we just had our sales finish, but hopefully we might have some more coming up over Christmas or Boxing Day, which is exciting. But please take advantage of my free shipping as well. If you use the code FS20, that'll get you free shipping. And we always make sure to get you in some extra products because, you know, we know how hard it is treating Demodex. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I've talked my head off again. It's quite late. Oh no, not as bad as last time. But stop using a lot of creams and moisturizers on your skin, probably feeding them. Stop frying your skin with sulfur soaps and copious amounts of tea tree oil. Get some coconut oil. Get all your beddings, your sheets, your towels, your pillows, all that stuff in the sun for a few hours a day. That's really going to help your environment. Stop stressing. Stress is the worst. I really believe, especially full moon stress, all this stuff plays a really big role in Demodex. So it's horrible. But take care. Oh, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope everyone's getting in the spirit of Christmas. Bye.